The peace of God shining in me now. The peace of God shining in me now. The peace of God shining in me now. The peace of God is shining in me now.
Good morning to all of you. Welcome to day 4 of our revival. Oh, there we go. Day 4 of our Namaste revival. The revival into the experience of reality, of wholeness, of oneness. And we start with that song every morning. The peace of God is shining in me now, like a bright sun that's within each one of us, shining so bright, so brilliant, so hot and fiery. And all we need to do is to realize this, and then we begin to enter into the experience of realizing that the peace of God is also shining as me, in and as me. But I first must be willing to become the source of that great illumination. I need to give it away. I need to see it in others. And that's what we've been doing all week, is making the choice whenever we remember to look out at whoever we see, whoever we come in contact with, or whoever we think about, and just to say or to think the words with our whole heart that they are the holy, perfect child of God. And in doing so, to feel ourselves lifted into the experience, because that's all we're here for. There's no need for us to talk about this anymore. There's nothing left for us to discover or for us to discern, only for us to experience. So today we're going to go a little bit deeper into that experience. I thought what I would do is read a little something from The Impersonal Light, the book I put out earlier this year, or was it this year? Maybe last year, I forget. Anyway, The Impersonal Light. I came across a beautiful section right before the session, and I thought it would be a perfect entry point for us this morning into this experience. So this is going to be, remember, your I am consciousness speaking. So when it says that I am forever complete, it's speaking directly to you as you, the truth of who you are and have always been. Okay? So here we go. There is nothing I desire, since I am forever complete. But there is great desire within you. This is a very important thing for us to realize from the very beginning, that the you that you have declared yourself to be is really just nothing more than a collection of desires, a collection of multiple desires that takes you from that single desire that leads to your freedom. So once again, there's nothing I desire, nothing that is desired within your wholeness, since I am forever complete, but there is great desire within you. You seem to desire many things, but in truth, there is only one thing that you truly long for: to know and to experience your oneness with me, your oneness with your own I am consciousness, or with wholeness, or with heaven, or whatever words you want to use. You'll know the feeling when you hit it. This is the longing that drives you, and it is also the longing that completes you, since the desire you feel, that which is rising within you even now, is for what you are now and will forever be. This longing was planted in you by me, which is another way of saying that it was planted in you by you, the true you, the real you. And though you cannot escape its pull, you can misidentify it. In the state of sleep that you find yourself in, it's easy to believe that this longing I describe is something that you think you see, but which cannot actually be seen at all. Let's back up and hear that again. In this state of sleep that you find yourself in, it's easy to believe that this longing that I'm describing is for something that you think you see or think that you can see, but something that cannot actually be seen at all. It cannot be seen because it's not really there. Remember, it's impossible for you to see anything unless it's first seen by me. And the word seen here is capitalized. Unless it's first seen by me or by the I am within you. Only then can something truly be seen. Unless it's shared with wholeness, it's not really there and requires nothing but for you to move on to what can be seen. And what can be seen? Here we go. I see only what is real, and I disregard what is not real. You, on the other hand, believe that you can see something that is not really there. Why? And here's the key. Because you're afraid of what is there. For example, you sense an overpowering desire for completion, and so you look outside yourself for another person to complete you. The problem is there is no one else outside you, and you're already complete. So you're looking for someone outside you to complete you, and the truth is there's no one outside you, and you're already there. You're already whole. The experience is already whole within you. This is just one thing that you're afraid of, that you're afraid to realize, your own completeness. You're looking for something or someone that you can make that longing that you feel vanish. But has this strategy ever really worked for you? If you're honest with yourself, you'll admit that it hasn't. The longing may seem to be satisfied for a moment or an hour or even a week, but it will inevitably return because you actually know what you're really longing for, though you're reluctant to consciously admit this. You know deep down within you what you're really truly longing for, that wholeness that you are right now, but you're still a little bit, just a tiny bit reluctant to step into that. Well, this revival week is the opportunity for you to do just that, to step into your wholeness. And this is the one thing that seems to separate you from the full realization of who I am. I long for nothing while you long for something, something that you believe to be outside who you are. What I am telling you is that you are everything, just as I am. Think about that for a moment. You can't long for anything outside you when you are everything. Everything that is true, everything that is whole, everything that is real, literally is what and who you are within this experience of I am. And when you touch that, when you begin to sense the approach of this experience, there'll be nothing else that you could possibly ever want or desire that is not already whole within you. So, begin by trusting that I can see something that you cannot see. Then, slowly, your sight will clear and you'll be able to recognize what has always been recognizable to me. So all we're talking about here is reuniting your vision, the vision that you're experiencing right now, with the vision of wholeness that is true and whole within that I am experience, the truth of who I am right now in this moment, that the peace of God is shining in me and as me right now. So let's turn to Vicky and hear what Vicky has to share about this. Vicky, if you're out there, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jimmy. I'm right here celebrating. This has been a wondrous week. I really love using this mantra because it's become very practical. You know, that's my strong suit. It has to be very practical. And so right now we're in the middle of negotiating a sale on the house. And there are many people involved, my sisters, brokers, other buyers, whatever it is. And this has been such a perfect opportunity to make way for the truth to come in, the truth that blesses everyone. And I see how easy it is to be the only one that has no attachment to outcome in any direction. So having no attachment to the form, but only to the peace of God and the truth streaming through, and the willingness to recognize it as it expresses. This is very simple to do if I keep my mind off any outcome or any form it should take. So living this today very practically, I just keep stepping back and reminding myself and my sisters that we have no idea which outcome to want. We don't want any outcome. We want God's will. We want the way to be open for the light to stream in and bless everyone involved. So that's what we're doing, and it's quite lovely. The steps that we're going through, little meetings. So I'm remembering, thank you. I'm talking to the holy perfect child of God, my broker, the buyer, the sisters, the everyone. And in that, everything has been gradually all week getting relaxed, I would say, so that all of us can recognize. That's how recognition happens. Just like enlightenment is only a recognition, but it's a recognition of the guidance of this moment, how it expresses in this moment, not in some moment later or some, spiritual reverie. It's also practical right where we are. So keeping my mind in, oh God, I'm just blessing everybody. I see the Holy Christ in everybody, beautiful child of God over there. Then because my mind is unencumbered, I can feel that only that desire, like only that desire. And I had a conversation with my sister. They said, but we thought you wanted this, this, and this. I said, no, I just said that I wanted that because that's what was appearing and seemed to be the natural step. I'm willing to let everything go every moment and see how it lands, which is a whole different perspective than usually doing business where you take a position and then you move around to get your position. It's none of that. So let this be really practical. I'm enjoying the practicality of it. And the other thing is the reset button. It's like today's lesson. Truth does correct all the errors in our minds. And the errors are nothing more than our desire for anything but the peace of God, the love, the light that we are. Anything but that. If we return our attention, that's all it is, and our heart's attention. Our heart has almost a mind of its own, a heart mind, where when we turn our heart and our mind to the truth, to the light, to God's joy coming through every situation, most every situation, and let it be very practical and not wait for anything else, then we make way. And what is the way that works and that harmonizes everything has to come through. And so that's how I'm doing it today. And I love this. Someone called me the other day, not someone that's doing this at all, problem with her boss. And I said, oh, I see, because I could see. You just got to love your boss. Don't worry about what you want, what he wants. Oh, she said, yeah. I said, don't worry, don't argue about this or that. Just forget about it. Just go in there and you love your boss. You love him. He's the holy child of God. You bless him. And she said, okay. And she went right in there and she blessed him. She called me back. Not 2 hours later, she said, you're not going to believe it. He gave me everything I wanted and I didn't have to ask for it. And because it diffuses judgment. The truth corrects all errors in our mind by diffusing the judgment if we give our willingness to pay attention to the truth, to the love, and to the light that we are. So, hooray, let it be practical. We need practical here while we're still in the dream. We need it to be a simple smile and an act of kindness and love that fills us and makes us feel safe, that takes away all the shakes and of trying to figure out life for ourselves. None of us have to do that. If we can just give our attention to the Spirit will literally carry us, take care of us, and we will recognize every step. And every step is enlightenment, every step. It's not just the mystical Catherine of Genoa running through the streets saying, God is the deep part of me. It's, oh my God, God's in this car right now. God's in everything. There isn't anything but that. Now, Teddy just came in from a doctor's appointment. I don't know if he wants to say anything because he heard none of this. So, but he can say hello.
Hey, what's happening? They just fixed my teeth. I'm a little numb. I don't
Oh,
know
he's
what to
numb.
say.
Okay.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
We're always talking about the same
Same
thing.
thing every day.
Love each other. Don't worry about anything else.
Well,
You could start talking about the price of milk, and you'd probably end up exactly on the same subject.
well, God is love, therefore so am I, and that's
There
all
you
we
go.
know. And you use your breath, everything to remember that, and it gets deeper into your being because that's what your being is, love. That's it.
That's it. I mean,
All
how much?
else is
That's it, brother.
all else is illusion and doesn't exist as far as I know.
Yeah, we could enter any moment with simply that. God is love, and therefore so am I. And to cling to only that which is real, the truth. Nothing else exists. Nothing else needs my attention. Only to focus on love. As you said, Vicky, don't try and solve the problem. Maybe this is the most practical thing that we can learn doing this during this revival. Don't try to solve the problem with your mind and with negotiations. Just love. Just keep your heart open and the problems dissolve on their own. All
And the
we need to
solution's
do.
given.
Right.
If your focus is that, then as you get into the experience, the solution is given. That's all.
Exactly. Exactly. It's always right there. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Teddy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
What
Thank you, everyone. Bless you all. I love you all.
a Is Lisa or Lisa or Bill, are they here today? Okay. Well, then we will go straight over to Namaste Village, our dear brothers and sisters at Namaste, and have David check in with us. Good morning, David. I saw David here earlier. Oh, there, David, you're still muted, brother.
There we
There you
are.
go.
Okay. Oh, good morning. And when you got right to it, it is all love. That's all we need to do. And you were talking about that amazing experience of desire. And that experience, there's a beautiful, a wonderful teacher who said, desire is God knocking on the door of your heart. And it's that all desire ends up in that one desire, that desire to know, to connect to be that one. And the doorway is through the experience of love. That's how we get there. And yes, if you're selling a house, love those people. love is the connector. And it's that change of the mind creating the world that we see to experiencing from within the heart the world that we are. And that amazing wisdom and intelligence and light flows through us. So there is, as you say, the answers are there. They're already given because of its wholeness, this beautiful wholeness. And what we so desire is to step into it. Everything we say, oh, I wish there was this and there was that and I had that and what about this? And into the love, into the love, into the love. It is simple, it is beautiful, and it takes that desire desire to do it, desire to know. I think, why do we come here and sit here together in the morning? Because we have that desire to know. We want to experience that divine presence in us, and as these magnificent beings that are journeying with us. And how do we do that? Just love. That is the way, and there's so many ways to enter into that love. But in the end, that is where we are. That is what we are. That is what we experience. And then the desire is fulfilled because we don't need something, because we are. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, brother. It comes down to those two words, desire and love. To desire only love, to be the expression of love, the extension of love in every moment, in every situation. And that's why this simple practice of just looking out and seeing any of our brothers and sisters and knowing who they really are, seeing them as God would see them, and desiring to know this truth in every moment. This is the only thing we need to do. Keep it simple. Just allow the truth to be true. We don't need to overcomplicate this like we usually do in our minds. We try and figure it all out. We try and develop deep formulas and theorems that are ancient and new, or whatever it may be. It never really takes us away from the simplicity of salvation, that God is love and therefore so am I. And I can choose to see that. I can choose to give that away every moment. And that's what we're doing here right now. We're recommitting ourselves to seeing and activating this love in every moment. So we're going to continue our practice of looking out or thinking of people whenever, however you want to do it, and just loving them as many times as you can today. Make this a habit. You are the holy, perfect child of God, complete and healed and whole. If you can say those words and feel the truth and the impact of those words with every person, no matter what, then you will know it about yourself, no matter what as well. So that being said, let's reach out just for one or two people here in the Zoom room or at Namaste. If anyone at Namaste wants to step up to the microphone, we'd love to hear from you. Or if anyone here in the Zoom room would like to share any inspiration around this experience, we would love to hear from you as well. So just go ahead and step up or unmute, whichever one you'd like. Well, let me reach out and see if there's anyone that I see beaming light this morning. You know, Jelski, you are bubbling this morning. I can feel the light bright within you. Isn't it fun just to be called on and not have anything prepared? What are you feeling right now, dear one?
Surprised. Yes, I am very so joyful for that, seeing that everybody is the Son of God, and I've used it, and I even saw a homeless man who never looks at me, and I see him at the store. And then I said to him in my mind, "You are the holy, perfect child of God." And then he looked at me and he said, "Hello." I was very surprised. And I've also a story about seeing Teddy, because in the beginning I couldn't see at him, and when the other Teddy said something about him, I cried I cried the whole session. And then afterwards, I couldn't see him, but the next time there was no image, and then I saw I could listen to him very good. And then I afterwards, what he said was the most important to me from all what is said. You understand me?
Yeah, when the ground has been tilled, and the seed has been planted, the seed is going to ultimately spring forth and bring new growth.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. Thank you, dear one. That was
Thank you.
beautiful. Now, it's so beautiful and interesting because I called on Jelski and I didn't realize there was also a jet ski here.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
this is wonderful that we got to hear from both of you. So thank you, jet ski. And now I'm going to turn to Jelski.
My name you pronounce not like jet ski, but Jetske.
Yitska.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know if
I'm
how do you say your name, Jelski?
Jelske.
Yelska. Beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm learning so
Jelske.
much this morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, it's so funny to have another Dutch one on this Zoom call. You know, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you inspire me so much, James. It's so I don't know what's going on, but this week I just I've made some big decisions about my life, and I was a bit hiding in the cave. I had my my Swift, the awakening, and after that I just went back into the cave again. Just bye bye. And yeah, and I'm coming out now in a different way. You know, there's a lot of growing and a lot of evolving in ways that I could not imagine. So yeah, and the funny thing is that it's not out there spiritual and stuff like that, but it's really grounded, real normal, just like life is. And, yeah, so precious and soft, and just the light that we are. No big deal, you know. Nothing bubbly or no, just the joy of being Jelske. I think for the first time, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm gonna be 52,
Happy
and
early
just for the last,
birthday.
yeah, thank you. But just for the last couple of years, I'm for the first time in my life, I'm being Jelske, you know, instead of being somebody else that I'm not. So it's really grounding, real normal, but strong. Yeah. So yeah, coming back out of the cave, I had a practice. I give coaching and healing sessions, and I hadn't done that for a while. And now the last couple of weeks, yeah, it's I got four in a week or something
Beautiful.
like that. You know?
That's
and that's
beautiful.
also, yeah, it's, you know, I'm being Jelske at a real normal, human, simple, on personal level, and at the same time, I'm so done with playing small, you know. So I am this Christ, whether I like it or not. So just be the Christ. Get over yourself. So yeah.
How
So that,
simply and beautifully put. That's who you are, so you may as well be it.
yeah,
Thank you,
exactly.
Jelska. Jelska
Thanks.
and Yetska. Nice.
Yeah.
That's incredible that there are people with two so close, unusual names for the American ear. Now, we're going to turn to another European who is out there, but I know she's sitting in her room at Namaste, and that is Renate. She raised her hand. So good morning, Renate. Renate, you have to unmute yourself if you haven't already. There you go.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I want to share and thank you. Some weeks ago, I asked for a prayer for my half sister who got an emphysema or whatever, lung emphysema and something else. And she wrote to me that half of her measurings went down. So she is much, much better. and we prayed for her. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Renate. We are seeing the peace of God in each other and letting the healing and all the miracles happen. That's all we need to do. We just need to choose to see each other as whole and complete, as love, to see each other through the eyes of Christ or through the eyes of God, as whole, perfect, and complete. And that's why this simple practice that we've been doing this week is so powerful, to choose to see one another as we can be seen by the divine. Instead of seeing what is not really there, we see and we choose to see only that which is whole and true. So
I feel the love.
Oh, yes. Thank you, dear.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Renate. Wonderful to hear from you and from all of you. Great way to begin our meeting with this wonderful revival, to revive the light within each one of us. That's all we're really doing. We're allowing that light to come back to life. And in doing so, the experience within us is so rich and so amazing that we could never choose anything else. There's nothing left for us to choose, because now that we know this holy truth, it's all we need. And therefore, we're going to end our session by just sharing that final prayer that we do almost every day, because it reminds us of who we are and who we will always be. So here we go. Join me in this prayer. I am the holy, perfect child of God, complete and healed and whole, shining in the reflection of God's love. In me is creation sanctified and guaranteed eternal life. In me is love perfected, fear impossible, and joy established without opposite. I am the holy home of love itself. I am the heaven where love resides. I am God's holy sinlessness itself, for in my purity abides God's own. And so it is.